makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? So I'm beyond excited for this video because I'm going to be doing a first impression on some products from Plouise. If you have not heard of them, they are a makeup academy in England and they created a product line and they are getting really good reviews right now. So I'm very excited about it. I actually pre-ordered this in the beginning of April and then it shipped May 5th and then it took 14 days, business days to deliver from England to America, or to my home at least. So I am very, very excited about it. So one of the products is the palette. Just looks like this. It's just a nice black and gold design. And then some really pretty warm neutral shades. And then I also grabbed a pigment. This was actually a bundle. The palette by itself is 40 pounds, but they have another option, and it's a palette plus a surprise pigment for 40 pounds as well. So may as well get a pigment for free. You don't get to choose the color, but I ended up getting the shade Icy, and it is super beautiful. It's like a blue, green, gold duochrome. So I'm very excited about that and trying that out because it is really pretty when you swatch it. And then I also grabbed the Plouise Base, which everyone has been talking about. Nikki Tutorial says this was like the best concealer, or the best eye base ever. So I'm excited to try this out. They did come out with more shades. I think there's either 5 or 6 shades now. This is the shade 0.5. It's the latest, or the lightest shade they offer at the moment. They are coming out with a white shade, but it's not available for purchase yet, which I was disappointed by because I would definitely prefer to get the white. I swatched this on my hand and it looked maybe just a tiny bit darker than me, but it should be okay. And this is super pink toned. I actually watched a like a tutorial that they did, and they said that they will only come out with pink eyeshadow bases because pink doesn't change the color of the eyeshadow, but yellow tones do, which I thought was very interesting. I've never heard that before, and I kind of want to test that out because I have a very yellow eyeshadow base from Kat Von D. Would you guys be interested in a video with like a pink eye base on one side and a yellow eye base? Because I'm very curious if that's actually true because I've never heard that before except from them. Anyways, little tangent. So that's the products I grabbed and what I'm going to be trying today. Really quickly, let's just go over pricing. So the palette, like I said, is 40 pounds. And then the base is 10 pounds, which is not bad at all for the base. And then the pigments, I think that they're 8 pounds. I'm not sure exactly since I did get it for free. And then shipping, I believe, was 10 pounds, 10 or 15. So I'm just going to start off with the base. And it's really funny. Like I said, I watched one of their live videos and they say pitter pat pat whenever you do the eyeshadow base. So that's what I'm going to do today. Basically their whole thing is that you're supposed to pat it in, and here, let me see. I literally wrote down what they said because I feel like I learned so much. Okay, so they were talking about how much you should blend the eyeshadow primer, and they said you're blending too hard if you can see imprints like from your brush or whatever, and too soft if it's still wet. So I just got a little on my brush here. Just do one eye. And I guess I'm going to spread it a little and then I'll pat it in. Oh, the color looks okay. Basically, their whole method is that if you keep tapping, then the eyeshadow won't crease. Just go ahead and add some to the other side. I really like the coverage. I don't really like eyeshadow primers that don't cover because I have a lot of redness on my eyes. Alright, so far so good. I really like the color, and honestly, by the time it took me to blend this whole eye out, normally when I use a concealer or whatever, I've stopped setting them as much, and normally by that time this eye is all creasy, so I normally go in and I pat it down again, and then I go in with my crease shade or whatever I need to do. I have to definitely go back and forth a little bit more, which I guess I can see a tiny crease, but it's definitely a lot better than it normally would be by the time I finish doing the other eye, if that makes any sense. But I like the color, I like the coverage. I will definitely leave down below how long the eyeshadow lasted, if it faded or anything throughout the day, which I can't give you a complete review on that right now because obviously I'm using a different eyeshadow palette that I've never used. I'm using a different eyeshadow primer I've never used, so if it fades, it could be the eyeshadow or it could be the primer. If it doesn't fade, it could be the eyeshadow or it could be the primer. So I will definitely keep you guys updated on my thoughts. So I'm going to start with this shade right here called Plouise. It's very pretty, definitely calling my name. And I'm just going to go ahead and like kind of like stamp that in the crease. Okay. So that shade definitely appears on the eye a little bit more like orangey. I feel like in the pan it has more of a like yellow mustardy undertone to it, which I really like. So I wish that came across just a little bit more, but it is blending pretty easy. So far it's blending super easy. I think I'm going to go ahead and take this shade right here, which is like a true bright orange shade called Sunkissed, and I'm going to use that next. Ooh, that's a lot of pigment. Okay. It's like bright orange. Got a little bit of fallout from that shade. I just literally covered my entire eyelid in like 2 seconds. I'm just going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Just get this part that I missed, just so that it's symmetrical. Okay, so I'm going to take a like smaller, like dense little brush, and I'm going to go into Queen, which is this bright red here. I feel like reds are definitely a little bit harder to find a really great formula for, so I'm just like dying to play with that one. There actually is no fault or kickback on that shade. The other ones have had kickback. Okay. I'm gonna dig into that shadow a little bit. Okay. There we go. Just gonna have to scratch off that top layer. Wow. I'm gonna go in with the previous brush just to, once again, just like to blend between each layer. Okay, so just to deepen it up a little bit more, I think I'm gonna go into this shade right here, which is called Contour. It's just like a really pretty like purple burgundy type shade. That shade has just a little bit of kickback. I'm just gonna kind of work that on the outer V. Right there. I literally love that shade so much. I feel like so many times like I do a look like this and then I want to deepen it up and I end up hating like the outer V color, like because if you go in with a brown or like a black, I feel like sometimes it just takes away from like the power of like the red and the orange and whatnot, but I feel like this just looks, it's just the perfect deepening shade for these colors. Okay, so before I keep blending that out, I'm just going to go back in with the previous brush just to kind of softly get those edges. Okay, so because I personally really love a good highlight shade, I'm going to take this shade right here, which is a really nice matte white shade, which I love personally for highlighting because I am so fair that white is just my go-to highlighting color. So I'm just going to put this like at the base, or the highest point of my brow bone, and then just softly deposit the rest of the product along the way. And I'm going to go back in with the previous brush and just blend so that the white isn't like out of nowhere. Okay, so because I'm using the Plouise palette today, I just have to go ahead and do a cut crease. I feel like they do the most beautiful cut creases ever, so I'm just going to go ahead and use the eyeshadow base and just attempt some sort of cut crease that hopefully doesn't suck. I think I'm just going to do like a half cut crease. Okay, so before I do my lid, I just want to go back into the outer V, just fix everything up so it blends seamlessly into the lid. And I think I'm just going to go into, I guess I'll try out this shade right here, which is called Martini. It's kind of like a pinkish raspberry-ish red shade. And I'm just going to pat that. That is a really pretty shade. I'm going to go into a little bit more of contour, which is the deepest shade that we used, and just make sure the outer V is as dark as I want it. Okay, so I'm going to take that same brush, just wipe off any excess product, and then I'm just going to take that and just blend the edges again, just because I want it all to be as like seamless as possible. So I think I want to go ahead and take this shade right here, which is called Prin. And I'm going to go ahead and add that to the part of my lid that is cut. Not having to work hard at all with that eyeshadow. It's very pigmented. It's going on super easy. So now I'm going to go in with the Pigment Icy, and I did spray my brush just hopefully to help not have as much of a mess because it is very glittery. Ooh, wow, that is pretty. Oh man, I hope that shows up on camera the way it is showing up in person. It's definitely not super opaque. It's more of just like a glitter with a little tiny bit of pigment to it, but it is so pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and do basically my entire face off camera, and I'll be back to finish off the lower lash line and tell you guys my final thoughts, and probably do some swatches of the palette as well. So I went ahead and added some eyeliner and some lashes. These are Boudoir from House of Lashes. I'm going to go ahead and take the Argancy in Modster eyeliner, and this is the shade Hot Pink, and I'm just going to go ahead and do my waterline just because I thought a like really bright pink would be pretty with this look. I'm just going to go ahead and take Martini right here and just put that along the lower lash line. I'm going to get rid of any extra product, and I'm just going to go ahead and take the shade Burnt right here. I didn't use this one yet, and just going to blend that out just a little bit, make it super, just like very blown out smoky eye. Last but not least, I'm just going to take the shade right here, which is called Slay. Kind of looks like a neutral shimmer, and I'm just going to pop that onto my inner corner just for a little highlight. Okay guys, so this is the finished look, and I am so happy with how it turned out. I'm so happy with this entire process using this palette today. I feel like all the colors were super pigmented, they were easy to blend, like the shimmers were beautiful as well, the mattes, like everything. Like I'm loving this look, and I feel like this is going to be my go-to palette for like the I don't know if it will be my go-to for like the neutral shades. I'm definitely going to try those out next, but for the oranges and the reds, like I'm literally so obsessed. And I think that this palette in American dollars ends out being $53. So honestly, like I'm really happy. There's 12 shades, and I don't know what more to say. I'm just super happy with how it turned out. I think it looks beautiful. The pigment, here, I was trying to remember where I put it. I think that it's nice, and it's very shimmery, very sparkly, very beautiful. I don't know if I would go out of my way to buy more of these. It does look like you get a really decent amount of product. It's beautiful, but this isn't like my favorite formula. I barely ever use loose shadows, but I do like it. I think it is a nice little freebie when you buy the palette, and I really did enjoy the primer. I don't have any creasing or anything. Cutting my crease was super easy, and yeah, so I really like this. I'll definitely keep you guys updated in the description box on how it wears, everything like that, but I'm very, very happy. I just think it looks really, really pretty, and I just feel like these are my shades, so I'm just very excited. I'm very happy, and I don't know why. I was nervous for this palette. I guess I feel like every time I try a brand that I've never tried before and I'm just going off of others' reviews and I have no personal experience, I get really nervous. I'm like, am I really gonna like it? Like, that's why I didn't buy it the first time it was not even pre-order. I could have got it like right away and I didn't buy it because I was waiting. But luckily I'm glad I did wait, because in that time frame she did release the new colors, or else I would have gotten a shade that was too dark for me. So it all ended up good. I'm glad I hesitated because I got the right shade, but I'm really happy with this palette. So if you're kind of going back and forth, you're debating, and you really like the shades, then I think you should definitely go for it. I found the formula super easy to work with. I had barely any fallout at all, and these are super bright shades. I feel like a lot of reds have a lot of fallout, and sometimes dark purples do too, but this was just amazing to work with. So hopefully this video was helpful for you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and really quickly insert some swatches of the Plouise palette. So that is everything for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.